But we didn't start a Bible college without a struggle. I told God, that's where I draw the line. This is where I draw the line. I'm not going to do that. God said, fine. One day, I was in the South, and I was exploring a cave and mapping caves. I'm sort of a high adventure guy. I climb and rappel and used to jump out of planes and all kinds of stupid things, but I'm a high adventure guy. And so I was mapping a cave. I'm actually a certified cave mapper. In the Dominican Republic, mind you, not just anywhere. So I was mapping a cave, and I got sick. I got so sick I couldn't even stand up. And they took me into the little medical center, and of course nobody knows anything in the Dominican Republic. They thought I was a doctor. It's hilarious. But in any case, I got sick. And I was sick for a whole month, and they almost killed me. And I came back to the United States, and I had a rotten gallbladder. And the rotten gallbladder had backed up into my pancreas, and my common bile duct was sealed off, and my pancreas had a huge blister on top of it with an amylase of like 10,000 in the fluid inside of this. And so I went to this hospital in Dallas, and one of the guys that basically developed the laparoscopic removal of the gallbladder operated on me free of charge. And he said, Gary, you're probably going to die. I said, well, all right, what are my options? And so he brought in a Christian guy that was a gastroenterologist. And every day he would come to me with all these lab values that I knew the lab values. He'd say, your amylase is this, and your lipase is that, and you're going to die. This doctor, friend of mine, basically told me in complete Christian love every day for about 14 days that I was going to die. And he was, all the signs that he could see that's what's going to happen. So I was on this extreme pain drip. They put me on a drip. It was like 6 milligrams of Demerol every 5 minutes. Those are confirming circumstances. For those of you who don't know what that means you're going to die. Right? That's what that means. You don't give anyone that much Demerol unless you are sure they're going to die. So I was sure I was going to die. Now, I was actually in a coma in the intensive care unit on the 6 milligrams of Demerol every 5-minute drip when some silly church sent my wife a check for $56,000. And they said, our elders got together and we fasted and we prayed, and you're going to be just fine. My wife called him and said, he's in a coma. I can't even give him the check. What do you mean he's going to be fine? He's almost dead. They said, don't worry about it. God's going to take care of him. Within 30 days, I was off the drip, out of the hospital, in the field. I had walked over 100 farms. Like this and like that. I'm mountains touring. I walked over 100 farms to buy property with $56,000. We bought the property, and we now have a Bible college. And I only asked God for 5 years, and it's been 10, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Everyone bargains with God. In your practice, do not walk strictly by sight. You're going to see those numbers. You're going to see those patients. The biggest thing you tell students in medical schools, when in doubt, go look at the patient. Sometimes you can tell something looking at the patient that you didn't see in the chart. So I would just like to encourage you, not only go to look at your patients, pray for them. Even if you don't pray for them overtly, even if you don't pray for them so anyone else can see, pray for your patients. Fortunately, there is a God in heaven that knows more than you do. And he can do stuff that you can't get done. I'm going to talk at the end of the hour. It's time for dinner. But I want to show you a short 3-minute, who's got the DVD? A short 3-minute DVD on how the Lord used 40,000 doses of medicine that he just sent me one day, a month before the disaster in Haiti, that I had no idea that I was going to need. And in fact, I almost threw it away or gave it away to someone else. I did not know what that medicine was for. It was 40,000 10-day doses of antibiotics of every variety you could imagine. It was like $136,000 worth of antibiotics that just showed up one day that some church thought I might need sometime soon. I'm sorry, this gives me goosebumps because it's just weird. This is just weird. That stuff like that has not just happened once, it's not just happened twice, but just like happens all the time. And it's just weird. Now, I can't guarantee you any of these weird things are going to happen to you, but that's just it. I don't know what God's up to. I'm on a really interesting ride. And I find out more things every day. And it all stems back to deciding to do something under very difficult circumstances. So when you see something that comes to you in a very difficult circumstance, don't shut it down right away. It could be a God thing. God works in strange ways. I'd like to show you how we use that medicine with several thousand dying people in Haiti when not a single military person could get anything to them off of a military aircraft or outside of the zone where they were working in Haiti.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
What got you interested in the whole cave mapping thing? It seemed a little off from everything else.
I had children. My kids were really interested in it. So because of their interest, I began to do it mostly just to keep them from killing themselves. Because you have to repel into these things. I mean, they have to climb and repel in the dark. And so I just sort of took interest in what they were doing because they were scaring me to death. And I wanted to be there when whatever happened to them happened. It was mostly, number 2, first response.
Thank you.
We'll see the second of those movies. This was within 48 hours of the disaster. Remember, 300,000 people died. In the twinkling of an eye, it all happened. But not to show you the most gruesome slides that I had before dinner, it's time for dinner. I know you can take it. So we'll talk about other things after the break. Thank you. God bless you.